Thank you, Francesca, and hello, everyone. I'd like to build on what Pauline said, and particularly one of her closing points that everyone needs to be involved to solve the problem of toxic cultures. We may feel that our workplace culture would not lead to the tragic events that unfolded at the Met Police, but even if that's not the case, toxic cultures can and are having a negative well-being consequence for colleagues in many organisations, and are really a major contributor to not attracting and retaining talent at the moment. So for me, the question is, how do we adapt our cultures so they do thrive and they do not orbit around the toxic space? The most important first step is to commit to your people strategy, if not your business strategy, to building a thriving culture. To build a thriving culture, you need actually two key ingredients. First, you need to build high levels of colleague engagement in your workplace. And secondly, you need to build high levels of happiness. And you cannot build one without the other. Building high levels of engagement or commitment amongst colleagues to their work without those colleagues being happy will only lead to a burnout situation. And equally, a very happy team without engagement or commitment to the work will simply lead to an unproductive team. So if we assume that you have to put a commitment to building a thriving culture front and center of your strategy, the next question is, how do you build the high levels of engagement and happiness in the workplace that will deliver on that as a strategy outcome? That's when you get into strategy implementation, and that is the hardest part of any strategy program. For me, building engagement in the workplace is the easier of the two ingredients to build. There are about a dozen levers at your disposal: the quality of your leadership, the quality of your communication, the effectiveness of your reward framework, to name but a few. But your strategy program should include a systematic approach to either fixing or continuously improving all of those 12 levers. Building happiness in the workplace is, in my experience, the harder journey. We know that there are four primary contributors to happiness in the workplace, and those are being recognized for your achievements, career growth, positive relationships, and psychological safety when you talk and speak at work. Of the four, recognition is possibly the easiest to fix through a good recognition program, and frankly, just saying thank you a lot more. Career growth is perhaps the next easiest, and you can achieve that through good levels of training investment and broader organizational development activities. And we should remember that we are at our happiest when we have a sense of progression at work, or more generally moving forward with our lives. So it really is a critical factor in the happiness index, if you like. The toughest happiness contributors to fix are building positive relationships and building a sense of psychological safety in the workplace. Unlike anything I've said just before now, you cannot typically fix these in a systematic way because both come back to the core values of your organization. As leaders, if you're not consistently nurturing behaviors that shout or signal, to Pauline's point, if they're not signaling, I value teamwork or collaboration, or I value speaking up and there'll be no negative consequences for you, then colleague happiness will actually elude you. So in sum, I would say adapting to a thriving culture is a pretty tough gig, but it is possible. And to Pauline's point, it does need everybody's involvement to be successful.